What kind of man convinces a businessman to buy the Eiffel Tower twice? What kind of teenager impersonates a pilot, a doctor, and a lawyer, all before turning 21? They didn't need weapons, just paper, confidence, and a perfect lie. This isn't just about scams. It's about us, what we believe, what we ignore, and why we keep falling for the same tricks in new disguises. Welcome to Red Dossier.
Before we move on to the next part, please give me a like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for listening.
It's spring, 1925. A man in a custom-tailored suit walks into the lobby of the Hotel de Crillon in Paris, carrying a crocodile leather briefcase. He speaks with authority, dresses like a diplomat, moves like someone who knows exactly where he's going. Inside his briefcase, forged government papers. His pitch: the Eiffel Tower is being torn down and he's selling it for scrap. The buyers don't laugh. They lean in. They listen. And one of them signs the deal, hands over the cash, not because he's stupid, because the man in the suit makes it all feel real, legitimate, urgent. That man is Victor Lustig, and what he's selling isn't just steel. It's a performance, a con, a perfectly tuned illusion, played on pride, greed, and the silence of shame. Fast forward 40 years. A teenager in a crisp Pan Am pilot uniform strolls through JFK Airport. He's tall, confident, carrying a flight bag and a fake ID. Security waves him through. No one asks questions, because who questions the uniform? His name is Frank William Abagnale Jr. He's not a pilot. He's never flown a plane. But over the next 5 years, he'll impersonate one, along with a doctor, a lawyer, a professor, and forge checks worth millions of dollars, all before his 21st birthday. 2 men, 2 different eras, but the same trick. Trust me. Lustig worked in a world recovering from war and political collapse. Abagnale thrived in a booming, bureaucratic America, one lured in aristocrats with charm and handwritten letters, the other hijacked modern institutions with paper, ink, and nerve. Neither used violence, neither pointed a gun, but both exposed something fragile: our willingness to believe the story we want to hear. So what makes someone believe they can sell the Eiffel Tower or pretend to be a surgeon with nothing more than a lie? What does that say about them? More importantly, what does it say about us? Victor Lustig didn't rely on luck. He built trust like a craftsman builds a violin, layer by layer, detail by detail. He could speak 5 languages fluently. He understood etiquette, class signals, how to compliment without flattery. And above all, he knew timing. His favorite trick? Something he called the Romanian money box, a handcrafted wooden machine with polished brass knobs, lined with rollers, and just enough delay to feel convincing. The buyer would insert a real bill, turn the crank, wait 6 hours, and out came another. Real money, because Lustig had planted it inside. The box seemed to work. It printed twice. By the time it failed, Lustig was gone. He didn't just con individuals. He fooled Al Capone. Yes, that Al Capone. In Chicago, Lustig told the gangster he needed $50,000 for a secret investment. Capone handed it over. Lustig returned 2 months later, not with profits, but with the original cash, untouched. He said the deal had fallen through. Capone, stunned by the honesty, handed him a $5,000 bonus for being the only honest man he'd met in the game. Lustig had played the long con. He never needed the 50 grand. He just needed Capone's trust. Meanwhile, Frank Abagnale was rewriting the rulebook on forgery. By 18, he was already printing checks using a portable offset press in his hotel room. He learned routing codes, magnetic ink, bank terminology, all self-taught. He posed as a Pan-American pilot and used the airline's own travel system to hop across continents. More than 250 flights. Over 26 countries. He never flew a plane, but he sat in cockpits. He stayed in first-class hotels. He cashed fraudulent checks worth over $2.5 million in 1960s money. It wasn't just about the money. It was about becoming someone, anyone. He passed the Louisiana bar exam after studying law books for 2 weeks. He faked a Harvard transcript. He worked as a supervising physician at a hospital in Georgia. When asked how he pulled that off, he said, "I didn't do much. I just let the interns do the work." That's what makes their stories so dangerous and so fascinating. Neither of them broke into vaults or hacked into networks. They broke into people's assumptions. People trusted what they saw. A uniform, a badge, a confident handshake, a slow, practiced voice. But every story of deception ends with a crack. For Lustig, it came in 1935. After nearly 2 decades of crime across Europe and the United States, he was finally caught by the United States Secret Service for running one of the most successful counterfeit operations in American history. His fake $100 bills were so convincing that banks had been circulating them for months before anyone caught on. The arrest didn't come from some clever sting. It came from betrayal. A former accomplice, angry over a payment dispute, turned him in. Lustig was sentenced to 20 years in Alcatraz. He died behind bars in 1947. Cause of death: pneumonia. No family claimed his body. No one wrote an obituary. The man who once convinced the world he could sell a national monument ended up buried in silence. Abagnale's fall came in 1969 in a small town in France. A Pan Am flight attendant spotted him. She'd seen his face on a wanted poster circulated by Interpol. He was arrested, jailed in France, then Sweden, and eventually extradited to the United States. He faced a possible 75 years in prison, with charges stacked across multiple jurisdictions. But then something unexpected happened. The Federal Bureau of Investigation saw potential. His knowledge of check fraud, of document forgery, of the blind spots in the financial system was unprecedented. So they offered him a deal: serve time and help us stop people like you. Abagnale accepted. He served less than 5 years. After his release, he began working with the FBI's bank fraud division and later founded a private consulting firm. Over the decades, he advised thousands of institutions, from Bank of America to the Internal Revenue Service. In 1974, the United States Congress passed the Bank Fraud Control Act, based in part on tactics he had exposed. In 2002, Steven Spielberg turned his life into a Hollywood film. Leonardo DiCaprio played the con man. Tom Hanks played the agent who hunted him. Millions watched. The irony? Abagnale was in the audience too. He consulted on the script. So what's the legacy of men like this? Lustig is a ghost, a shadow that haunts security textbooks and lectures at criminology schools. His scams taught us that confidence is currency and that shame keeps victims silent. Abagnale became something else, a myth, a proof of concept that some people can outrun their past, then sell it as a service. But here's the real question: would we fall for it again? Because these stories aren't about the past. They're about how we live now, how we trust, how we doubt, how we judge character through costume. In an age of fake news, phishing scams, and deepfake videos, the con has simply changed clothes. The Eiffel Tower isn't for sale anymore, but your data might be. Your trust definitely is. And the next con? It may already be in your inbox. Thanks for listening to Red Dossier. If this story made you think twice about who and what you trust, hit that like button, subscribe, and share it with someone who loves a good mystery. We want to hear from you. Is a master con artist more dangerous than a violent criminal, or just smarter? Let us know what you think in the comments or on our socials. Red Dossier Podcast. Until next time, stay curious, stay skeptical, and keep your dossier open.